See people that put their phones in since it's a rule of the high school.
Yep, and it's really, really good for you. Okay, now number one, write the equation of the line through the given points. So this one very specifically says line, and we have to be really careful of what it's saying. And lines are y equals mx plus b. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Negative 1/4. Yikes. Kind of a spicy slope. Okay, should we choose the point 2, 0? 2, 0. Okay. So 0 equals negative 1/4 times 2 plus b. Okay, now let's talk about how do I multiply a fraction by a whole number? True. What you do is you multiply the tops. So you multiply the 2 times the top. And then I'm going to do what Landon said. I'm going to reduce this. Okay, final answer. Y equals negative 1/4 x plus 1/2. Okay, now you might think to yourself, is it okay if I leave a decimal? And I say yes for the y-intercept. Totally okay if you put 0.5 here, but the slope should always be a reduced fraction. And the reason is because you're counting boxes. But if you put 0.5 here, totally fine. Okay. Number 2, write the exponential equation for the curve through the given points. Okay, so exponential is y equals ab to the x. So on your test, which is not before break, you have to look at the directions and see the difference between line or exponential. And we practiced this quite a bit on Friday, and I'm hoping this is getting easier for you guys. 135 for 12,005. Takes 3 B's. Make sure that you know how to take the cube root of 343 on your calculator, because I will not answer calculator questions during our tests or quizzes. But for me, I'm going to hit the math 3 first because it's a cube root, then the math button, and scroll down to number 5. Okay, and if B is 7, then what is A? 5. Any questions about number 1 or 2 before we move on? You sure? Okay. Number 3, find the equation and total value of the investment after the time given. $1,500 at 3% compounded annually for 10 years. Okay, compounded means exponential. And exponential means y equals ab to the x. Now, in this case, we're going to find b by taking the percent. So all interest is increasing. So I'm going to go 100% plus 3% is 103%, which is 1.03. So my equation is y equals 1,500 times 1.03 to the x. Okay, and what do I do to get the amount in 10 years? Landon? Yep, plug in 10, great. And make sure that you guys know how to do this on the calculator also. 1,500 times 1.03 to the 10. Okay, now next moment of truth. What do I round to? 8, 7. And it's a 4, so we leave the 7. Okay. Number 4, simple interest means linear. And linear means y equals mx plus b. Okay. Can everyone see what b is? That's the easier one in this problem. 1,500. Okay, but how do you get the slope? Yes, and it's something else for simple interest. What you do is you take the initial amount times the decimal for 3%. So it's a little bit different when it's simple interest. You take the amount, the initial amount times the decimal. So y equals 45x plus 1,500. I feel like for me, if I was in this class, I would make sure to put one of these and one of these on my pink sheet on the back, just to make sure to tell the difference between compound and simple. Okay, but anyway, 10 years, same thing, gonna plug in 10. And when it comes out evenly, you can just leave it like that. You don't have to put 0.00. Yes, honey. Nope. Totally fine either way. I have to say, on your quiz, the last one, everyone almost rounded correctly on the money. I was super excited. Apparently, my ranting about that worked. Okay, any questions on number 3 or 4 before we move on? Okay. Abhashra and Stephanie are selling pies for a school fundraiser. Customers can buy blueberry pies and lemon meringue. Do you guys know that lemon meringue is Mrs. Talbot's favorite pie? Oh, I'm sorry about that. I don't really like, I like chocolate pie and lemon meringue, and that's basically it. Oh, okay. I shouldn't have digressed. All right. They sold blueberry pies for $11 each and lemon meringue pies for $12 each and made a total of $3.95 for the fundraiser. They sold 34 total pies. Find the number of blueberry and the number of lemon meringue pies that they sold. Okay, so I'm gonna go B equals blueberry and L equals lemon. Be really careful with your L. Make sure that it doesn't look like a 1. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, so I have blueberry pies for $11 each. So that's going to be 11B. And is plus lemon meringue pies for $12 each. I'm going to make mine curvy. I made a total of $395 for the fundraiser. So notice I put all money in the top equation. Okay, and then it says they sold 34 total pies. So blueberry plus lemon is 34. Okay, what strategy do you guys think we should use? Yeah, I would use elimination. And what would you multiply by? Negative 11 or negative 12, depending on whichever you like better. I like to eliminate the front, um, if at all possible. Okay, so the B's eliminate. 12 minus 11 is 1L, so I'm just gonna write L. 395 minus 374 is 21. So they sold 21 lemons. And I always plug back into the easier one of the two equations because I'm lazy. Mrs. Talbot bought all the extra 8 ones. No, I didn't. Okay. Number 6, simplify. Your answer should only contain positive exponents. Okay, so we're going to write a note, negative exponents, flip fractions. There's our note to ourselves, negative exponents, flip fractions. Okay, so what you do is you flip the fraction and you keep the exponent as positive 3 now. And then you take both things to the third power. And done. All right, go ahead and flip the page when you're ready. Okay. Number 7, find the distance, midpoint, and equation between each pair of points. Round your answer to the nearest tenth if necessary. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is make my triangle. And count the boxes. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is distance. Distance is Pythagorean theorem. So 6 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. 36 plus 9 equals c squared. 45 equals c squared. Square root of 45 equals c. Okay. First, I'm going to do exact. Which one of my numbers divides into 45? My prime, I didn't mean to say prime. I meant to say perfect squares, but yes, 9 is the answer. Okay, so I'm going to say square root of 9 times square root of 5 is 3 root 5. And then for approximate, I'm going to go square root of 45, 6.7. Okay, next it says find the midpoint. I'm going to count the midpoint because I already have it graphed. Much easier to just count it. So the bottom is 3, so I'm going to go over 1.5. And the vertical height is 6, so I'm going to go up 3. And mark my midpoint. So I went over halfway and up halfway. And that midpoint is, what coordinate is that? 2.51. Great. Okay, last thing for this problem is the equation. Okay, take a look at the triangle. What's the slope? Almost. Okay, slope is, yeah, -6/3. So negative rise over run. So you have to actually remember it's going downhill. That's the hardest part of the whole thing, is noticing the downhill. Okay, and then for B, I'm going to backtrack my line up. So I'm going to go back 1 up 2, 6. Y equals -2x plus 6. So my hope there for that problem was just for you to be like, oh yeah, I need to remember to check to see if the slope is positive or negative. Okay. Number 8. A rubber basketball is dropped from a height of 197 centimeters on a hard flat floor. After each bounce, the ball returns to a height that is 18% less than the previous maximum height. What is the maximum height reached after the 6th bounce? Okay, so 18% less, we go 100% minus 18%. How do I know to do minus? Because it says less, yeah. Okay, so this is 82%. And what is 82% in a decimal? Beautiful. 0.82. Okay, so I have y equals 197. You can put the 0.00 if you like. I'm not going to. Okay, so there's your equation. Okay, now how am I going to graph it? This is how I'm going to graph it. So I'm going to say the start is 197. So I'm going to go right under the 200 there and make a dot. And then I'm going to do 197 times 0.82. That's my next dot. Times 0.82. Times 0.82. Times 0.82. Times 0.82. Times 0.82. You guys see how I used the calculator to find the graph, and then I just wrote my answer for the sixth one. Some of you guys I noticed were doing 197 times 0.82 to the 1, 197 times 0.82 to the 2, 197 times 0.82 to the 3. That works. It's just a lot more work. You'll get the same answer. I'm just lazy. Any questions about 7 or 8 before we move on to the square roots? Okay, so on the square root section, I'm going to write my perfect squares, 4, 9, so 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, 6 times 6, 7 times 7, 8 times 8, 9 times 9, 10 times 10, 11 times 11, 12 times 12. I'm going to stop there. What do you guys think about 147? I'm working on it here. I'm going up the list. I tried 4, that was a nope. I tried 9, that was a nope. I tried 16. Ah, nice. I was almost there. Nice. Okay, now I have a question. I taught you a trick. Does anybody remember the trick of when you can stop searching, when you can stop dividing? Brandon?
Um,
Ah,
when you hit halfway.
exactly. When you hit halfway, that's it. So half of 147 would be 70 something. So you don't have to check the 81 or the 100 or the 121 or 124, but you got to check all the way up until there. Okay, next question. Does anybody remember what you do if none of them work, if it's not divisible by any of them?
It's just one, it's just
Yeah.
147, so again, simplify.
Exactly. Square root of 147, it's already simplified. And that's going to happen more and more as you guys get higher in math. Like you're going to have prime numbers there. Beautiful. Great job. Okay, now I believe we already had a 45 that was divisible by 9. So we're going to go 4 times the square root of 9 times the square root of 5. And this one is a reminder that the 4 gets multiplied to whatever comes out evenly. So 4 times 3 times square root 5. Okay, now let's go down here. This first one is 4, correct? The only thing it's divisible by is 4. This first guy here. Okay, so negative square root 4 times square root 6. Okay, what about 54? 9, great job. 9 times 6 is 54. Oh my goodness, is it the third time today we've had root 45? Okay, so this is negative 2 square root 6 minus 3 times 3 times square root 6. I'm going to have to do another step for this one. Minus 2 times 3 times square root 5. Negative 2 root 6 minus 9 root 6 minus 6 root 5. Okay, these two are like terms, so they can be combined together. Great. Negative 11 square root 6 minus 6 square root 5. And it's not a pretty final answer, but it's correct. Okay, number 12, last one. This is multiplication, so I'm going to multiply what's underneath the square roots. So I have negative 2 square root of 500. You guys see where the negative 2 came from? Okay, and which one of these numbers, these beautiful, gorgeous, lovely round numbers, is 500 divisible by? 100. That's my favorite. Okay. Next, number 13. 3 more problems and then we're done. Your favorite. Okay, first. Any vertical angles or reflexive sides? Reflexive. Okay, great. Okay. Now, what type of thing is this mark for? And the answer I'm looking for is either sides or angles. Angles. And you can tell if you're worried about that, it's in your pink sheet right here. This is what angle tick marks look like. And it looks like this. So I'm going to say angle A is congruent to angle C if I give it. Okay, now notice I made this bubble a little wider. Is anybody like able to foretell why I made it wider? It's because this is a given because there's 2 on there, but there's 2 angle Ds. So that means I have to put all 3 letters. Okay, so this side, I'm going to say angle ADB. And this side, I'm going to say angle CDB. It's still given though, because the 2 tick marks are there in each one. Okay, now I'm going to do the reflexive. So I look at my pink sheet. It should look like 2 letters with a line over it. BD is congruent to BD. Okay, alphabetical order on the left side is A, B, D. And then matching up with that on the right side would be C, B, E. And which one is this? Great job. Angle, angle, side, like this right here. Angle, angle, side. Awesome. Okay. Number 14, find the measure of angle A. 140 plus 4x plus 4x equals 180. I feel like there's a much simpler way to do this problem. Did anybody see a simpler way to do this problem than this? I'm thinking of Noah. I think Noah would find a much simpler way to do this problem. If you don't, it's fine. Okay, because I've trained you to think like that, but I was thinking if you just did 180 minus 140 divided by 2, because those are equal. But this way works too. Perfect. Okay, 5 is not the final answer though, because it says find the measure of angle A, so I need to plug the 5 back into 4x up here. Okay, 0 extra credit points for the person who can tell me what type of triangle this is.
Isosceles?
Yes, next, 0 extra credit points to the person who can tell me by the angles what kind of triangle this is. Obtuse. Enjoy your 0 extra credit points. Extra credit in my heart. Okay, last one. Solve for x. The polygons in each pair are similar. Okay, that means that you set up a proportion, or you could find the scale factor if you want to do it that way. I do it with a proportion. I'm going to start with these sides. I'm going to say 48 over 40 equals 24 over 3x plus 2. Cross multiply. Okay, now can you guys all flip to the stamp sheet 5 when you're ready? Stamp sheet 5. Okay, we need to talk about this week. Because this week is strange. You guys already know about the schedule and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, okay. So tonight's homework is the review assignment. It is not due tomorrow, though. You actually don't even have me tomorrow. It's actually not due until Friday. Yeah, okay, so on Wednesday, we're going to have, you guys have second, fourth, and sixth period, and we do the math test in here. And then on Friday, we're gonna do the team test and start the closure. But you guys should be working on the review assignment whenever you have downtime and access and things like that. You guys know you have 4 accesses this week. That'd be great. Okay, you should have 90 to 95 and 96 to 102 done. I'm gonna come stamp whatever you have right now. I'll stamp your review note also and your warm ups, and we'll see how far I get stamping. I'll do my best. Do you guys know what you should be doing? Review assignment. And we have the map test tomorrow, so you need to, not tomorrow, Wednesday, so you need to bring your Chromebook. Any questions about this week or anything?